Hey guys, we're the Trapper Girls. I'm Megan.
I'm Ariana.
And we're going to be talking about the game tonight with the Warriors versus the Raptors. Raptors play for Toronto, and then the Warriors are for West Coast, California. So we can't wait to talk to you about that real quick.
We're going to give you our predictions and all the stuff that's been going on. I predict that Game 6 that the Warriors will win because obviously we're rooting for their team and really want them to win because they've been through so much through the season. Cousins has been out majority of the season. He finally came back himself from an injury. And Iguodala was injured. And
Klay
he came
Thompson.
back. Yeah.
And then the most is Kevin Durant.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And there was one more, I thought.
Looney.
Yeah. Looney, he was injured, even had what they call a fracture something.
Like with his chest.
Yes.
He landed on his chest in one of the games.
Yeah,
so,
and he has been pushing through the past 2 games. And I really hope that they would go to the next game, Game 7, because they all have just been through so much and have really persevered through the...
Which really shows, like, the title of their name for the game. Not the game, for their...
Warriors.
Yeah, the... team logo would be the Warriors because they have really acted as a team. I mean, who would have thought they would come back, which we always had hoped in them, that they would come back, and they just persevered and made those last 2 3-pointers that we really needed the push to win Game 5, which was on Monday. So that was really awesome. And,
And also... even with Kevin Durant, and even he persevered as best as he could through Game 5 to help them get to Game 6. Yeah. And so
it was really just like a team effort. Yeah. And it really showed to me all the haters, all the people who doubted, not just him individually, but that team that they really are warriors. And anything can happen first when you put God first, but then work together as a team and just not focus on what other people are saying, but focus and communicate with your team members, because that is most important.
And when like a third of your team is injured and you still are able to make it to Game 6, that's a real accomplishment.
Yeah, and that just feel like that's nothing but God right there.
Yeah. So they should be proud of themselves to make it to Game 6, because a lot of teams have not made it to even Game 4, let alone Game 6. In itself to accomplish 2 NBA championships in a row. And then we just want to give a special shout out to obviously Kevin Durant for even playing Game 5, because
we were so happy and excited that you came back, because it gave us hope that, you know, everything was going to be right, and it still was all right. It was just like the thought of you even being there, even if you was only there for like literally like 60 seconds. It was like, it meant the world to us as fans watching you, because it gave us hope.
You didn't have to go out there. You could have like stayed in the back. You came out and you made it happen.
And we are track players, track runners to be specific, and we know how it feels to have to perform and for not just your team, but individually, when you have to go out there when you're not feeling good, you're feeling sick, or your muscles are aching and still having to perform when the time comes. And it's not a good feeling. I don't understand why people are always like bashing people when they think, you know, they're hurt or not, because whether they're hurt or whether you think they're hurt or not, it takes a lot of guts and determination to have to go and perform when you're not feeling your best.
Yes, because even if he wasn't particularly injured, you never know what could have happened before he even stepped out on the court. Because people can say, you know, mean things to put you down, and then that could really distract you while you're playing the sport that you love. So.
But our parents always taught us that it's not what you do by listening to other people, it's how you react. If you react and listen to what other people say, then that's what it's going to be. But if you decide to not listen to what they're going to say and make your own destiny, and that's what it's going to be. You can rise above it and prove them that you're better than that, and that's what makes them a great team. KD, if any of you don't know and don't really watch basketball, Kevin Durant has actually got what is called Achilles tendon rupture after he played when he came back in that Game 5, I believe, in Monday. So that was serious business. Recently, I actually had a Baker's cyst on my leg, and I couldn't even bend my daggone leg. It hurt that bad. So for him to go in there and play basketball, come back a month after he was actually hurt on May 8th, I believe, because I've been researching it. It takes real guts to do that, because me, honestly, if my leg is hurting to the point where I can't bend my leg, I wouldn't go back in that game. So that takes real guts and real pride for him to sacrifice himself and his body to go out there and put on a good face for his team, even though he's in serious pain.
And still be a good team player at the same time.
And we're praying for him.
And he also did good with even with everything he's been through, whether even being on the court, he still remained a team player. Yeah. Even when people were trying to like come against him and maybe
talk negative,
or play a certain way,
he still kept his composure, and that's what a great role model does. No matter what, they keep their composure. They don't let all the negative talk come and kind of get them in their head, because at the end of the day, the same people who said negative things about you might be your best friend tomorrow, or they at least try to be your best friend tomorrow, because it's all about that comeback. And we know that he's going to come back stronger than ever.
Better.
He's going to rest. He just had surgery, so we're praying for his well-being. And just like his mother said, which I loved it in this quote, I wish I had took a picture of her. She basically said, everything is all right. If you want to talk about him, you talk about his integrity, talk about his heart. But at the end of the day, God said it is well, and we believe that.
And he's accomplished so much in his career so far. He even built a daggone community center for underprivileged kids in his own hometown of Maryland.
About all the good stuff he does, because that's what's most important. Because at the end of the day, these games are going to end regardless, and reality is going to be still here.
What will you have left after the game? The final game is over.
Yeah.
And we also want to give a shout out to his mom, Miss Durant, because we know how in sports you need a good support system, and she reminds us of our mom who always supported us in our sports, and we just want to give a good
shout out to her,
you, for always supporting your family.
Yeah, and she always has his best interest.
Yeah.
And whether they win the game or not, you still have to go home, and it's just nice to have somebody say those nice, encouraging words.
Because not everyone has a support system when you play a sport.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
And actually go to the games, away games, because that can be pretty expensive, whether you count the money factor or not. I mean, it takes time, it takes energy to go to those games. And it's not easy going those games when you especially go to away games and the rooting team is not for you, and to still keep your composure and your emotions intact when people are cutting the food and you having to sit there and not say what you really want to say.
And still remain humble.
Yeah, and still remain humble and kind. And I like how she does very tasteful little quotes. And I know her and Steph Curry's wife is really good at what I call killing people with kindness. She says things to people without, like, really what I call getting down and dirty with them on their level, because sometimes it's just not unnecessary to do that when you're better than that and you're trying to set an example for people.
And we would like to say a short prayer, nothing too long, for Kevin and his recovery, and to not let what people say put him down anyway. And we encourage the team to stay connected. Don't let outside voices come inside, because y'all are a good team and y'all seem like family. So we just want to say a short prayer. Okay. And Megan would love to lead the prayer.
Ariana said good, well, she was gonna lead the prayer. So let's everybody bow our heads.
Okay.
And Ariana's gonna
This is for Kevin.
Yes.
Okay. Lord, we ask to bless Kevin Durant and bless his entire body, and also bless his family, his friends, the whole team, the Warriors team, and give the coach strength where he may need it as well. Everyone around Kevin Durant and his family, block out any negative voices that would try to hinder them or hinder him as well. And just we ask prayer over the team on tonight, allow them to do their best regardless of what happens. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
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 Till next time.